All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Bubbles Ball Tire Outlet Series, and this is the Arca Series here at Daytona. 2.5 mile high bank super speedway, and we are ready to go tonight as we already have qualifying results in. And let's go through the Jeff by Junior Art starting lineup. We got to give the Chuck Pegleg Pole Award winner is going to be Daniel Pope, starting out front with a narrow time over Michael Nash. Starting in second, Jim Caudill Jr. starting in third, Cameron Hamilton starting in fifth. Starting sixth, Tyler Breeding. Starting seventh, Jonathan Cofield. Starting eighth, Eric Tracy. Starting ninth, Brandon Wallace. Starting 10th, Dylan Bates. Starting 11th, Mike Kostick. Starting 12th, Todd Schott. Starting 13th, Ryan Derrick. Starting 14th, Mickey Isaac. Starting 15th, Matt Telder. Starting 16th is Garrett Kinder. 17th, Brandon Pollock. 18th, Kieran Church. 19th, Chuck Feltz. 20th, Christopher Reese. 21st, Andy Kurtz. 22nd, Josh Oswald. 23rd, Michael Morrison. 24th, Charles Stevens Jr. 25th, Tyler Rice. 26th, Matt Clemens. 27th is Davy Jones. Glad to have everybody here tonight as, man, they are scooting as we're getting ready to get this thing going green. As we've got 50 laps here at Daytona, it is going to be a wild one. We've got 27 drivers ready to lay it out on the line to take a win at Daytona. Who is going to get it done? You just don't know. This is the big wild card. Could be anybody in this field. The big thing you got to do is keep it on the track. As we look at the race analysis, our Arca Menard Chevrolet 50 laps, 60% fuel, 2 green-white checkers, and 1 fast repair tonight. Got to keep that car going straight. You only got 1 fast repair. So who's going to get it done tonight? Daniel Pope going to lead us down to the green flag as Barney has the flag in hand. And green flag is out. Daniel Pope going to take the green flag as we go double file down into turn 1. 50 laps is not a long time, but you still have to be patient. What do you do? The Arca car very, very different than most. You cannot bump draft. The car, you'll see the pointed nose down at the bottom. It'll pick that rear, get up right up under that rear bumper, pick the rear tires up, and that car will go spinning. So it's going to be whoever can get as close as possible without bumping. If you can stay, you see how the 15 is right there on the bumper, but not pushing. That gets you the most speed. So if you can stay there, you can get up right to that car, drag the brake just a little bit, get him to drag just a tad, you'll be extremely fast. But you know how these races go. We get down to the end, guys want to start bumping and banging. Well, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to see cars going flying. So already got a couple drivers up front making moves. You got Michael Nash trying to make the top side work, just not quite there. And then we got some folks at the back that are just riding. You know you're gonna have a wreck. You know you want to not be in it. Stay at the back. Just try to hang on to that draft. You'll see that they're actually, back pretty far. So you have to be careful. You don't want to lose the draft. But you'll see just how far back they are. So you have to be careful. One guy makes one little, too passive a move there, and you'll end up losing the draft, and we'll be in big, big trouble then as we're on board with Davy Jones. So don't want to get too far back. We go back up front, though. Daniel Pope still leading the way. Michael Nash still working the top side, trying to make it work. It'll take a little bit of time. Guys are not being that aggressive. As folks start to get really close to the back bumper, you really can start making some moves on the top side. Bottom line looking pretty organized at the moment. Like I said, Jim Caudill Jr. right on the back bumper of that 16 machine. Wants to be locked there all night long. There's not a better place that I'd rather be is in second place at a plate race. You really can just take it easy, not a whole lot of stress. just push the guy in front of you. Manage those runs. You don't have to be right on the guy the whole time, but you see the 27 get a run. You start to see him get a run right there. Then you get close to the bumper, push that 16 out. Then once the 27 loses that run, the parachute kind of comes out. Well, heck, then you can back off just a little bit. So just really working that draft, keeping it together, and not allowing the top side to really get a whole lot of momentum, because what happens if you don't do that? If you just take it easy in second, you'll see that pretty much every plate race where these guys on the top side will push a car out front, and then they'll drop down to the bottom. And then the next driver will come up, push them out front from the top side, and drop down to the bottom. But the second car in the bottom lane is the most important car to that bottom line. It really dictates a lot of the race. And right now you can just see how good Jim Caudill is at it. He is doing a masterful job of keeping that top line from being able to do anything. Steve McDonald really not that close to him, so you can definitely see what difference that makes. As we are already 5 laps into this thing. Everybody's sort of playing by the rules at the moment, so that's good. We'd like to see that. We want to see green flag racing. You know they're going to have at least a couple pit stops with the fuel the way that it is, I would imagine. I don't know that for sure, but can imagine that's going to be the case. So you have to be paying attention. What I love about plate racing, while yes, it's a wild card, yes, there's a lot of luck involved. There is a lot of skill that's involved. We already talked about that second car in the line on the bottom, how important that is. But also teamwork. That's my favorite part of plate racing, is working with your teammates. Very rarely do you actually get to work together and come out on top as a team like these plate races. And tonight is one of a great example. We'll see who is the best team, because you've got multiple guys. You got some that have 2 or 3 drivers on the team. You've got some who have 4 or 5. So those guys are going to be working together, pitting together if we get green flag pit stops, and trying to stay hooked up and give themselves the best opportunity to win. And on green flag pit stops, having a big group, alliances, not just teammates, but guys willing to work together, makes a huge difference in how these races turn out if we get green flag pit stops. So be watching for that as we get through this race. But there's a lot to think about. It's Daytona, baby. It's the granddaddy of them all. It's where you want to win. It is a fantastic track. It's a lot of fun. It's a great equalizer. We love it. So far, Daniel Pope led every lap. Michael Nash getting a little bit of help from the 83 of Cameron Hamilton up there. You see the 83 getting really close to the back bumper. They're starting to make a little ground. You'll see as the race goes on, the top side really makes a lot of ground on the straightaway, so the front stretch and the back stretch. In the corners, the bottom really rolls. So you see Cameron really on the back bumper, that 27. The 27 actually has the nose out front going down into turn 1. So I would imagine they'll get a nice run down the back straightaway, unless Jim will get right to the bumper of that 16. As they go down the back stretch, the 27 has most of the car out front. So Michael Nash is there. Can he hang on to that momentum? As your car gets out front, you start to lose all the air advantage that you've had from being behind, and you start to sort of fall back, sort of a parachute effect. But as he crossed the line, I think he led that lap. He did. So Michael Nash leads that lap from the top line. And you see the difference, that second car in line making all the differences in the world, as Cameron is right there on the back bumper of the 27. As we look out back of Michael Nash, you see Cameron as close as he can get. Don't want to bump, don't want to make that mistake, especially not early, but trying to be as aggressive as possible and not have any gap between you and that lead car. Everybody looking good right now. Don't see a whole lot of people. You always got some wigglers out there that get up in here 3 wide, 2 wide, especially at Talladega, and get up there and get wiggly. But we don't see a whole lot of wigglers at the moment, so that's always good. But see the top side sort of falling back a little bit. They'll have to regather and get back up there. As it's exactly what they do right here on the back straightaway. They are neck and neck with the 16. So right now, these 4 cars are dictating the race. Nobody really willing to go 3 wide. 3 wide is pretty silly thing to do so early, especially if you're in the lead draft. There's really no point. We're not, it'd be nice to lead a lap, but as you see, Michael Nash gets pretty good size gap there out front, but then immediately loses it as the pendulum swings the other way for the bottom line. But fantastic racing so far. Right now, like I said, the race really is the top 4 cars, the 2 on the top line and the 2 on the bottom. They're really dictating this race. Everybody else sort of just being tugged along there. But the whole field within about 3 seconds as we got a big pack of about, I would say, about 17 cars here in this main pack. And then as we go back to Andy Kurtz, who's got a pretty wide berth. He is back in 18th, just hanging on to that pack, and everybody else sort of trying to stay with him. We'll go see who we got on cams tonight. Got Brandon Wallace up on the top left. You got Tyler Rice on the top right. Matt Clement down on the bottom left. And Garrett Kinder, I thought nobody was in the chair, but you see Garrett Kinder there on the bottom right with the VR headset on. That way he can see everything. Right now he's got Chris Reese just kind of, who is that? Oh, that is Chris Reese. Just kind of bebopping up and down the line. Don't know what Chris is doing, but just making up a couple spots. Kind of wanting to hang out back, not want to hang out too far. But up front, no change. Still 2 drivers side by side. Just the calm before the storm. It's sort of just a back and forth. You know, there's going to be somebody that's going to throw a wrench in this at some point, get tired of riding around. I can tell you the least, you think the guy behind you at the stoplight that honks at you as soon as the light turns green is the most impatient guy, but you never seen a sim racer at a super speedway. Those are some of the most impatient drivers you've ever seen. These guys sitting 3, 4, or 5 rows deep back there, they're patient for now, but man, that's going to run out quickly, and they're going to be like, I'm bored. They're going to pull out and go bite themselves up to the front. I've seen it happen many, many times. Somebody's going to do it, and that's going to change the whole complexion of this race. Right now, until Nash or Pope, move lanes, there's really nowhere for anybody to go. But what is the fuel run? That's something that I don't have access to. I don't know what the fuel run is. We'll see as Michael Nash got the whole car out there, but not wanting to abandon his drafting teammate. But we'll see what that fuel is going to do. How far can they go? That'll be interesting to see as will pit road start to pick up anytime soon. I think if we can make the lap 25, just make it on the one stop, we'll definitely see folks are right around that time. But with the fuel loads being lower, you never quite know how far you can go. So if we see guys dip out before 25, we know you'll have to make at least 2 pit stops. look out front of the number 15 machine. He's getting right to the back bumper of that Terry Bates Driving Academy Chevrolet. Well, so far it's been really, really quiet, and I'm not going to say anything as I do not want to curse this field, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut, but so far so good. Probably my favorite part of the race right here is everybody is trying to talk to each other. They're in chat deciding, okay, how far can we make it on fuel? When do you want to go? Let's get teamed up. All right, everybody's giving their opinions right now. You know, there's no race strategists. They don't have $1 million engineers or anything like that. Just a bunch of guys. They get in there and go, okay, I think we ought to go with this lap. All right, well, I got this guy in front of me. I need to figure out how to get back to you. We got to get situated for these pit roads. Because I can tell you, if for some reason we don't have any cautions, which would be amazing. We go green all the way to the end. Getting on and off pit road is essential because you need everybody. You need all of your teammates to go down at the same time. You need them to be able to maintain the same gap. Get on pit road, get off pit road, and get together immediately. You cannot be waiting. You can't be slowing down for 2 seconds trying to let somebody catch up. You got to go. So if you're at the tail end of that line, you got to be scooting if you're coming down pit road. And so all of that is so important. It's so difficult when you have so many drivers. Making sure you got the right pit strategy. You know, are we doing 2 tires? Are we doing no tires? How much fuel are we putting in? Everybody needs to be on the same page, and right now is when they should be discussing that, figuring out what they're going to do, how we're going to, pull off and go down pit road, who's going to go left, who's going to go right. We're going to stagger the entry. All of those things are being discussed right now, and then once they come off pit road, if you're 3-4 seconds back because you make a mistake, unfortunately, it's done for you. As looks like Michael Nash has had a connection issue, sort of a development here, as the leader of that top line, I think, just disappeared. So must have had an internet connection drop out. So tough break for Michael Nash, who was leading that top line pretty much the whole race. But anyway, we go back and see somebody else having some sort of issue as well. I keep blinking out. I think that might be, not really, I think maybe Brandon Pollock. He was having issues in the Grand National race. And I'll tell you what, that's another thing that gets you yelled at in the plate race. If you're blinking, boy, you'll never hear the end of it. Because ain't nothing scarier trying to push or draft with somebody that's blinking. So, as we watch right here, you can kind of see, try to maybe, if we can, Lord have mercy, kind of go back and look through the field. You see a lot of guys lined up on the bottom. That's them getting ready for that, for those pit stops. You see just how many guys are down there in the bottom, all lined up, trying to get together, getting ready to go down pit road. Like I said before, we notice about Michael Nash, you see Cameron Hamilton go down to the front, gets pushed out there by Tyler Breeding, and Hamilton just kind of bails on him and pulls out in front of the 16. But anyway, like I was saying before Michael Nash had his issue is, oh, we got contact back here. Matt Telder up there on the top line gets a little bit of a door action. Able to hang on to it, but that was a scary moment. We thought we were going to have a wreck there. But I'm going to get this point out. They quit messing around. if you're one of the guys and you slide through your pit stall or you don't make it just right, and you come out of pit road and you are, you know, a second and a half or 2 seconds back from your pack, your race is over with. So just cannot make any mistakes here. It's so important to get on and off pit road here at Daytona. As Cameron Hamilton going to lead this lap. Lap 25, expecting to see folks come down pit road pretty much any time. So, oh, it's lap 24, excuse me. So, next time by, I expect to see folks make their way down pit road. Everybody pretty much single file. I don't know if I love that or not. I think I'd want to be a little bit closer to the lead. But if everybody's single file, there's not much you can do. So I expect to see folks come down pit road here. Who will be the first to come off pit road? Do you come down pit road, or do you wait a lap to see if maybe there's an incident, yellow flag come out? No takers just yet as they come to lap 25. Cameron Hamilton leads that lap as well. So we stay single file here all the way back to 25th place, Kieran Church. All single file. It looks like they can make it on one stop, so this will be the one and only stop if we stay green. So it seems to be Cameron Hamilton, Daniel Pope, Tyler Breeding, Jim Caldwell Jr., and Dylan Bates definitely seem to be on a team as they're kind of checking up, so people are going around them. Here they come down pit road. You can see them taking that left turn now, so can they all make it into pit road? Oh, Cameron Hamilton sliding the front tires, but it looks like they were all able to get down to pit speed. Did everybody get down to pit road speed? Is there any speeding penalties? That's something else I didn't think of, or didn't talk about. Cannot have speeding penalties. Just so many things can go wrong when you're trying to pit together. See, 83 almost slid through his pit stall. Jim Caldwell slid through his pit stall. Tyler Breeding also slides through his pit stall. So some guys already going to be behind the 8 ball. As you see, Cameron and Daniel Pope able to get out. It looks like Jim Caldwell won't be too far back, and they'll have about 4 drivers behind him to really help him draft up to those front 2. As he got more takers, Brandon Wallace, Garrett Kinder locking up the front tires, trying to get down to pit speed. He's got somebody, Dave Jones, in the grass. So we got our second set of pit road takers right now. That leaves Matt Taylor in the lead as these guys have come back up on pit road. Expecting to see these guys this time around as we got 24 laps to go. Matt Taylor followed by Mickey Isaac. And here they come down pit road. Oh my goodness! Contact! Mickey Isaac gets into the back of the number 1 machine, and he is all tore up. His left front is gone as he clobbers the wall. Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. It's a little disappointing he got wrecked there, but the good news is he's able to keep rolling, get down to pit road, take that fast repair immediately. It's the best case scenario. You see Andy Kurtz backwards in his stall. But talking about Matt Taylor, best case scenario for him, able to take that fast repair and get back on the track pretty much immediately. So what was pretty bad, I mean, you hate to lose your fast repair, that's about the best outcome for that situation, as he was able to get that fast repair almost immediately. So very, very close call. He's going to lose some time, but it could be way worse. So right now, Chris Reese currently showing as the leader, but you see here comes the pack of cars right here. They're going to take them over quickly as Chris Reese sort of a sit and duck as the pack just comes flying by, led by Jim Caldwell Jr. So other than Matt Taylor and Andy Kurtz, pretty successful pit road strategy there for most folks. And looks like your pack up here is sort of going single file. Now, the strategy as you come out is to get single file. Do not race side by side. You're telling even folks that aren't on your team, hey, get in line. We can pull away from these guys, and it can just be us. We can remove half the field from the equation. I mean, if you're rolling dice and you're trying to hit a certain number, and I'm rolling 2 dice, and I get rid of one, well, I've got a better chance now. So that analogy doesn't work, but you know what I mean. Right now, Jim Caudill Jr., the Velocity Motorsports. There's so many teams, I'll be honest, that these guys call out. I'm not really sure what their team is, but I know there's some Velocity in there. There's SPM teams. I don't know, but anywhere between 1st and 5th, I think, are all a similar team. I think Garrett Kinder also. I don't know. I think they let just about anybody in Velocity, so I think it might be pretty much half the field. So I don't know, but right now, the top 11 you see there are Jim Caudill Jr., Tyler Breeding, Dylan Bates, Daniel Pope, Cameron Hamilton, Garrett Kinder, Brandon Wallace, Charles Stevens Jr., Brandon Pollock, and Josh Oswald and Kieran Church. So these 11 drivers able to get on and off pit road better than anybody else and starting to gap them. As we go back to the second group, that's Steve McDonald, Tyler Rice, and Chris Reese, who not able to latch onto that main pack as they were coming out of pit road. So it definitely seems like pitting early is the way to go, especially if you can get nose to tail. And then you have to go all the way back to 4 seconds back, the second pack, running side by side for some reason. I don't understand that. Really want to get single file here if you're going to have any chance of catching this lead pack. But, I talked about it. That's what you have to do. Green flag pit stops going to make all the difference in how things play out. Got to get on and off pit road. Even this lead pack had some issues. So could have been a close call there, but they were able to get it done. Lead pack. About to lap some drivers here is Todd Schott, Jonathan Cofield, Mickey Isaac on the tail end of the lead lap. They'll probably blend in with these guys. They're definitely not going to move over. They're fighting to stay in this race. Right now, if a caution comes out, they would get to go around and get back, stay on the lead lap. But if they let these guys by or move over, now they have to get a lucky dog, and only one of them can get that. So do not expect these lap cars to move over. They just can't. Just can't. Regardless of how you feel about lap cars, lead lap cars, this moment, they're racing for their race and the ability to stay in this thing. So there's definitely more cars in that other train, but you might see some guys get up there and get to the back bumper of those fellas. And, of course, the lead lap cars want to race and get those guys a lap down because that's 3 less cars you got to worry about come to the end of this thing. Even with a caution, if you can trap people a lap down, especially good drivers like Mickey Isaac, Jonathan Cofield, and Todd Schott, if you can trap those guys a lap down, that's darn near a win right there because you can take them guys out of the equation and you don't have to worry about them. But as far as moving over and letting this pack go, it ain't gonna happen. And now that Brandon Pollock got the backside of Todd Schott, that really makes it even more difficult. As they are really tucked up, I can tell you, Jonathan Cofield, Todd Schott, really doing a great job of staying as close as possible. And that's helping them stay in the hunt for this thing. Laps to go, 16 when we come to the line. Not much time left. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say what I'm thinking, but y'all are thinking it too. And I hope that it stays that way, because I'd love to see this thing end the way that it is. got this battle still going. These lap cars trying to stay ahead. Right in front of this pack is Andy Kurtz all by himself. Going to get swallowed up soon. Right in front of him is Ryan Derrick. He's got a good bit of damage. Not really sure what happened to him, but he is off the pace with some left front damage there. Then you've got the back of the second. Well, that's sort of the third pack. Michael Morrison in that Napa machine. He's bringing up the rears. They're just trying to hang on for dear life, hoping for a caution. That's really their only hope. So. Andy Kurtz moves down to the apron with some front end damage. Probably going to end up losing that main draft, but go up front. Tyler Breeding, Jim Caudill Jr. slide down in front of Mickey Isaac. If you're Mickey Isaac, I mean, you're not going to be too aggressive. You are the lucky dog, and you will get it if the caution comes out. You just have to be careful not to be the caution, not to get any incidents, any bumps or anything. When the caution comes out, will negate that lucky dog. So, I mean, he really has no pressure to get up there and try to get back around these guys, but I'm sure the 58 of Jonathan Cofield would love to see Mickey go out and make it 3 wide. Right now, they're kind of stuck at the mercy of this top pack as they just show how easy it is to control these races if you've got good teamwork. And so far, this group up front has shown excellent teamwork, getting on and off pit road. All the things that I've talked about that make plate racing to get the win, they are showing to almost perfection. Just a little bit of slide through pit stalls. But outside of that, have been flawless. And this strategy of, putting 2 cars in front of these lap cars trying to stay on the lead lap, it's another great strategy. You're not allowing them to be a factor. I just love plate racing. It's just so different. It has so many small, intricate strategies. You think about all the great plate racers. Sometimes there's really good plate guys that, and I keep calling it plate race. I know it's Taylor Spacer, but just work with me, The super speedway drivers are they've got the knack for it. They know how to work it. They know how to do the strategy. It just takes a different skill set. And there's been so many guys that have won it and been good super speedway racers in real life that may not be elsewhere. But, in real life, you need a great car. You need a fast car. Here in iRacing, all the cars are identical. So, with that being the case, strategy, working together, is paramount. And it's so important to win in these things. So, you can see these guys running 2x2, just controlling this whole pack. There's really nowhere to go. Laps to go. It's Jim Caudill Jr., Dylan Bates fighting for the lead. Dylan getting a push from Daniel Pope. Jim getting a push from Tyler. Listen a little bit to Denny Hamlin's new podcast. He talked about plate racing quite a bit. And talked about how when it comes down to the end of the race, your winner is going to come from the top 4. So right now, looking at 10 to go, unless something changes as far as the way this is shuffled, these 4 right here are going to be your winners unless a big wreck happens. If they're able to keep it together, I think I agree with Denny. The winner's going to come from one of these fellas here. So. 9 more laps to settle it. Both lines doing a great job of trying to push their line forward. Who is going to step out and sort of be the monkey wrench in this thing? It's going to be Garrett Kinder in that 13 machine. Somebody's got to make a move and do something. So far, Jonathan Cofield trying to win 3 in a row, but he is currently a lap down. Doesn't seem like that's going to happen, but he has won both races so far. He's currently our leader, so a tough night for him as he is some 20 points ahead of second place Andy Kurtz. But I believe that's going to change tonight. Man, just so impressed to see these guys take it easy, be smart. 6, 7 laps to go. No cautions in this race. We see green flag pit stops, and we're racing it out to the end. We've got a couple green-white checkers baked into this thing. If they make it to the white flag, it's over after that. So I would imagine if you're in the top 4, you're not making these kind of crazy moves to the white flag. But what are these guys in the back going to do? We got some lap cars sort of packed in here. Mickey Isaac, Jonathan Cofield, Todd Schott. These guys not on the lead lap, not racing for the win, but racing for the potential of a lucky dog. I mean, Mickey Isaac's in that position. If Cofield can get around him, then he would be the lucky dog. So there's something to race for there. And then the guys behind them have to race their way around those guys, you know, and somebody's going to have to take it 3 wide to get this thing done, I think, because these top 2 are not going to give up much here. Tim Caldwell with a nice little run here, got out front, had a full car, and then the 16 and 91 get hooked up down the back straightaway, and the 91's half a car length out ahead as it go down into 3 and 4. Who is going to take the win tonight? We're going to have a new winner. If everything stays like it is right now, we go green to the end. We're going to have a new winner in the Arca Series this season. They come screaming down. 5 laps to go. Who is going to do it? Who's willing to be patient? Teamwork. We talked about how important it is for teamwork to get yourself in position to win. But what happens to teamwork now? Who is willing to stick it out? You know, if you got a teammate that'll say, I'll run second, push you to the win, you love to hear that. But not everybody's wired that way. So who is going to make the decision to go for the win? Or are they content on just getting to the finish like they are? That'll be the question. Even if the conversations happen, yeah, I'll push you, doesn't mean that's actually going to happen. Four laps to go. Kevin Kinder asks, side drafting work on these cars? Sort of. It's not as pronounced as it is in other cars. But yeah, it does kind of work. In the Cup car, you can actually lean on, especially the Gen 6 one, you can lean, if you're the inside guy, you can lean on that left rear quarter of the outside driver and actually pull them back like you're just grabbing them and slinging them backwards. Arca car, not that sensitive. But it definitely does work. And unless something's changed, the way this particular drafting model works is out the back end of the car, it's sort of a cone, sort of a cone that goes out not exactly 180 degrees, but in between that, maybe 90 degrees, is a cone that comes out. So it sort of comes out at a diagonal. So you get the full strength if you're within that cone, no matter if you're right behind somebody to the right or left. So don't think that's changed, but if it has, I'm definitely wrong. But so it gives you a little bit of play, deciding on when and where to go, taking runs. But side draft's not going to win you this race, I can tell you that. Dylan Bates going to lead this lap. 2 laps to go here at the Bubba's Ball. What is it called? The Bubba's Tire Barn, Bubba's Ball Tire Outlet, Rebels Arca Series. What's it called, guys? But 2 laps to go. Who is going to take the win? Is anybody going to be able to make a move back here in the back, or they just know where to go? It's sort of a log jam up here. But it's getting tight up here. The 16 all over the back bumper of the 91. We talked about it. Can't really push. You can get up there, maybe a slight tap, but you got to be careful. Any sort of movement will lift those rear tires off the car. You definitely cannot push in the middle of the corner. Who is going to stay and just push to the end, or somebody going to pull out and try to get a win? White flag is out. Dylan Bates has a nice run here. Jim Caldwell going to fall back a little bit to Tyler Breeding. Got to be careful. You don't want to let the 91 get down in front of you. They're sort of separated right now. The bottom line not super tight. I like the top side looking good. Daniel Pope all over the back bumper of Dylan Bates. I would be worried if I was the 15 cars. Here come 3 wide. Garrett Kinder coming through the middle. I was wondering when that's going to happen, and they pull down and block that run. That's going to be a big parachute for the 13. He's going to lose that run. Is he going to be able to gate it back as he is side drafting Kevin Kinder? And he's going to pull up in front of the 13. And Todd Schott hits the wall, and they are 4 wide coming to the start-finish line. I have no idea who won it. We're waiting for the official word as they were 4 wide coming to the checkered flag. And based on the unofficial scoring, this is not official, but it looks like Jim Caldwell Jr. is your winner by enough. I don't know how many thousandths of a second because I can't see that far. And I'm actually going to give it a little bit of peek behind the curtain here. 2 1,000ths of a second over Garrett Kinder. That is official. Jim Caldwell Jr., your winner. Garrett Kinder with a fantastic run to the finish. Let's go on board with him on this last lap as everybody sort of calms down. We'll actually go out and watch it from the back end. As we watch the 13 decide to go 3 wide here. This is on. Going to go through the middle. Guys doing a great job of giving each other room, not pinching too hard. A nice run through the middle. Garrett Kinder see Daniel Pope make the call to come down and block that. And that was a good move, but the 58 stays with him. The 13 uses that side draft Kevin Kinder was talking about. And then the 16 moves over. And I actually want to highlight this. I hate to do this because I know y'all want to see the finish, but what really helped Garrett Kinder is when the 16 pulls out right here to go for the win. Thought the 13 was going to push him. 13 pulls out. And, man, what a move by Jim Caldwell Jr. to get the win. As you'll see the 16 it's sort of like a parachute that comes out from Dylan Bates. He just drops like a rock. And Jim Caldwell Jr. actually goes below the yellow line and takes the win. So close. I'm sure Garrett Kinder thought he had it won. Couldn't see Jim Caldwell down there, but man, what a finish. That's what you love to see. All that build up and a fantastic finish. We'll watch it one more time as they come down to the end. And you see in slow motion the 15 down there on the bottom as the 13 does get the run to get it. And camera work is bad. And you'll see right there as Jim Caldwell has just the slightest margin over the 13. What a run by Garrett Kinder. Definitely, no, he's probably disappointed. That was as close as you possibly can get. Well, all right, let's talk to some drivers, man. Good grief, that was a blasty blast. Let's see if we can get Jim Caldell Jr. in here, see if he's in here in Discord. Let's bring him down into the booth. Jim Caldell, this is Eddie in the booth. You got me? We'll turn you up just a tad bit here. Well, man, congratulations. I got a lot to talk about. I'm going to keep it brief, though. Uh, really fun to watch you guys sort of control this race. You up front, stayed up front. That's the best place to be sometimes. And fantastic pit stops. Got out, and at the end there, just being in the right place at the right time with your move and able to get the win. Congratulations, first off. But then just talk about your race. What was your strategy? What were you planning on doing? Who were you working with? And tell me about that finish.
We could through the first run, and after our pit stop, which I felt like we hit pretty good, it just kind of worked out where we had the group of lap cars that we were catching, and myself and Tyler was able to clear them. And when we did, Cam and Dylan and Daniel was still stuck on the top. So, um, which we was racing. I know those guys were trying to clear us, and they finally done it there on the last lap. I thought I was done for. Um, and just happened to get a good run as those guys started to try to race down off turn 4. That allowed me to kind of get a little run on them towards the checkers. So that's pretty fortunate to come away with that one. But had a lot of fun. That was a fun race.
Yeah. So when you go back and watch this, I do apologize. I missed like the first few sentences of that. I had you muted. That is totally my fault. But we got
Okay.
you. We got you back going. So sorry about that. It happens from time to time. But man, just a fantastic. I love. We were talking about it in the broadcast about strategy, working together. You know, being able to work as a team, how important that is these plate races. And there at the end, I mean, y'all put on a clinic, controlling both lanes, getting on and off pit road the best. Working around those lap cars and making it where y'all can race it out. And there at the end, tell me what you thought whenever Daniel Pope pulled out and you saw Dylan Bates drop that parachute and come straight back at you. As you made the move to go down to the inside and take that. I mean, just tell me what was going in your head. You go through your head as you kind of were probably settled in. I'm probably going to finish in third or fourth, and then all of a sudden it just sort of opens up for you.
Yeah, the biggest thing I wanted to do on the last lap. I know those guys had a run, and I missed last week, so I didn't want to ruin anybody's race by any stretch. So coming off 4, or at least through the middle of 3 and 4, I thought that was kind of it for me. Like you said, I was kind of looking at third or fourth. But when Daniel went to make his move to the outside, it really slowed them up more than I expected for sure. And I still had Breeden. I was telling him the whole last lap to push all he could, obviously. So uh, he had our momentum back up and going a little bit in the middle of 3 and 4, and it just was enough to get me to the line just barely ahead of those guys.
Well, amazing win, man. It was so fun to watch you guys race and work together like that. Just to put on a clinic that I'd have had to do a green flag super speedway race. So congratulations. And as always, man, we'll give you all the floor to shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anything like that.
Yeah, just want to thank these guys that I race with, Tyler Breeden and Cam Hamilton. Those guys are with us every week, and then also Daniel and Dylan and Eric, which I think Eric Tracy had some computer issues tonight, unfortunately. Uh, we kind of decided to work together for this one. They've been helping us with some late model stuff, so I can't thank them enough. And then also you guys for putting this on is a ton of fun, man. I haven't ran these cars. Is what I was telling Daniel. I don't think I've ran a super speedway race in the Arca car since probably '09 or something like that. So back when it was the nationwide car. So it was a lot of fun to get back in these things and try that. And these have been really good races. What I've got to run out of them so far. So look forward to do a few more here coming up.
All righty. Well, there you have it. Jim Caudill Jr., congratulations on the win. Very, very exciting. Looking forward to see what you're going to do for the rest of the season.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, let's bring in Garrett Kinder. Let's talk to him. I know Kevin Kinder is ready to see what old Lil K's got to say. Garrett, this is Eddie in the booth. You got me?
What's up, Eddie?
Man, Mr. Excitement himself, Garrett Kinder, as he, makes the move 3 wide on the last lap with a little bit of side draft. They tried to block him. He wasn't going to be stopped. Daniel Pope pulls out like a parachute. Man, all the way up to the front. And as you cross the line, you had to felt like you won the race. I know you probably thought, oh, I'm way out ahead, and it didn't see Jim Caudill Jr. down at the bottom. But man, tell me about your race. Tell me what you dealt with, and of course, tell me about that last lap.
Man, first, we had that pit stop in the middle and decided we were just going to kind of ride. Didn't want to push the issue. Didn't want to bang up our cars. Eddie, you've broadcasted a lot of these Rebels plate races and stuff, so you know that every once in a while they get a little hairy. So we were hanging back, hoping to avoid the big one if it ever happened, and it never did. So I basically told everybody that was running back there, it was me, Oswald, Church, Wallace, just a whole bunch of us. After this pit cycle, we're going to go. It's time. We're winding down these laps, and that's what we did. We got really aggressive pit stops. Me and Brandon both we smoked into pit stops, and just outstanding work as a team unit there. So big shout out to Brandon, Reaper Racing guy. And that's what we did, man. That first group, I think that pit ended up getting back around us, and we just kind of rode behind them. But I noticed every dang lap that middle was wide open. Nobody was side drafting. Nobody was doing anything to advance their position. They were just content running side by side. And I said, all right, one to go, and all bets are off. So Cofield slotted in behind me as a lap down car, and he's been telling me since Iowa last season, that whole fiasco, that he owes me one. So I pretty much knew, we didn't talk about it. There was no verbal communication, but I knew wherever I went, Cofield was going with me. So that middle opened up, man, and I said, all right, it's time to go, and hammered it down. And yeah, I knew I'd beat the car. I guess it was technically in the middle coming across the line. I didn't know how low Caudill was. I didn't know if he'd gone below double yellow, nothing like that. So man, just a fun race. I mean, that's what you expect out of a plate race, some riding around a little bit, some taking it easy, and then a lot of action picks up there probably last 2 laps.
Yeah, no doubt. Just sitting here watching the finish as you were talking, and just an incredible way to end this race. I mean, very clean race, no cautions, and
Yeah,
the
man.
4 wide finish at the end.
We were 4 wide?
Yeah, 4 wide at the
Okay.
end there. Yeah.
I thought we was 3 wide, so that's a good thing I didn't turn down any further.
Yeah, 4 wide finish, just incredible, man. But just a shout out to the caliber of drivers. But
Oh, absolutely.
man, just an incredible race. I wondered if somebody was going to make the move and get up there and challenge this, break this little 4-car, that was kind of blocking both lanes. And
Yeah.
Garrett Kinder, the guy to do it. Well,
I'm the one to do it every time, man.
Well,
I'll send it. I don't care.
Hey, look, it's your $15 a month. You do it however you want to do it. That's what I'm saying.
Right. That's right.
Well, as always, man, who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout-outs? Want to shout out real quick, though, Kinder Farm and Ranch. The Wreckage Rewind did not get used much in this race tonight, so definitely want to shout them out. But who you got to thank? Sponsor shout-outs.
Man, Kinder Farm and Ranch not only do the Wreckage Rewind, they sponsor me along with Ratchet Speed Shop. Outstanding, just huge support. Dad's already texted me. I think he said, what a move. So I think I made the sponsors happy back home by that 4 wide move, I guess. So big shout out to them. Big Frig up here, Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers. If you want to keep your stuff hot and keep your stuff cold for cheaper and longer than anybody else, make sure you check out Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers. I want to thank my dog. You can see over there. She's waiting on me to get done. She's got to go outside like crazy, I'm sure. But Wolfpack Racing, Ray Page over there, heck of a guy to know. Eddie, I've done this spill with you so many times. I probably got it memorized, but I've got my handy dandy sheet here. Teammates, Reaper Racing, like I said before, man. Brandon Wallace and I, we worked really, really well together. Content to ride when we needed to ride. and ready to go when it was time to go. So big shout out to them. Velocity Motorsports, which was the other half of everybody that was up front. It seemed like them and SPM. So big shout out to all those guys. Brandon putting this thing on, making the league tick. He does a good job with it. This Arca series is probably as much as the Sunday Night Trucks was the one that kind of started this thing off. I think the Arca series is kind of becoming the premier as far as just good racing. Man, it was outstanding out there for super speedway. I hate super speedways. I tell everybody that every time we race them, but that was a good time. And thank you up in the booth, Eddie. I got to hang out with you for the Xfinity race or the Grand National race, but glad to get there on track and have a good time.
Yes, sir. Well, congratulations on the second place finish, man.
Appreciate you.
Oh, and real quick before you go, you are the Dark Horse Motorsports Hard Charger Award winner. So congratulations.
Well, Lord, I'd hope so.
All right, man. Good race. See you later. Well, there you have it. Garrett Kinder giving you all the goods. I'll tell you who else got some good. That's Daniel Pope. And let's go ahead and get him up here and talk to him. See what his thoughts of the race were. Daniel, this Eddie in the booth, you got me?
I got you.
Well, man, congratulations, third place up front all race long. Talked to Jim about this. Just if you go back and watch the race, talked about y'all's strategy and working together as a team makes such a big difference. When all cars are equal, that's the only real variable that you have outside of just straight up skill. But being able to work together as a team, you guys executed perfectly and able to set up that last lap race. Did you make your move too early? Or are you pretty happy with what you did?
I feel like I made the only move I could. I probably should have stayed behind Dylan and pushed him to a win, in all honesty. But anytime you see an opportunity to make a run, you got to go for it. I didn't realize that Cofield had latched on to Kinder and they had such momentum. Jim made the boldest move of the race, and it paid out in his favor. I told them as we were coming down to 2 to go that I didn't care, what happened. I just wanted all of us to get the finish we deserved. We had worked so well as a team, and it didn't matter which one of us wound up winning the race. We were going to try to race it out, but we weren't going to do anything silly with each other.
Well, talk a little bit about, the race is over. You don't have to worry about giving out secrets now. Talk a little bit about how important it is to work as a team and how much control you have over the race when you have a team of 4 or 5 guys that are working together. How much can you control a plate race when you have teamwork as good as y'all did tonight?
It's just like in real life with the manufacturers. You get 5 or 6 good drivers together and everybody on the same page and everybody being selfless. It's almost a 50% advantage on the rest of the field. Because, other teams may not be as big or they may all be out trying to win the race. And being able to control the race, being able to work together, be able to draft. We stayed in a single file line, was able to come back after the caution. And it goes outside the super speedways. When we go run on the intermediates or short tracks, we still work together and we let each other in on restarts. And we do everything in the power to protect each other and make sure that the team as a whole is successful instead of just an individual driver.
Yeah, well, no doubt about it. Y'all showed that tonight. Going green flag all the way here. 27 drivers, 26 actually, that started the race, and no yellow flags. Just impressive by the field. But in big part to just how well y'all controlled the race, if I'm honest. Being able to control both lanes for majority of the first part of the race, and then flawless pit stops. Just really impressive all around for you guys. So just congratulations, third place. I know you wanted that win. And just 4 wide finish. You can't ask for really much better. Good Lord. It doesn't get much better than that. So congratulations on third place finish. As always, who you got to thank? Any sponsors, shout outs?
The Terry Bates Driving Academy. Anybody that needs some wheel settings, driver coaching, PC diagnostics, Terry's your man. Dylan, all the guys at SPM, Jim, Cam, Tyler, we all work together flawlessly. Jason Warren for just being Jason. We couldn't do a lot of what we do without him. And you guys for the league and what you guys do with the broadcast. As I say every time, it brings such visuals to this league and shows off the great talent that's in this league and the people that race here.
All right. Well, there you have it. Daniel Pope, your third place finisher here at Daytona tonight. Man, just what a race. I mean, you've been watching the highlight there of that last lap and just awesome moves. And I want to go back and highlight something real quick that I just want to show off as um, what you normally see versus what actually happened. I don't normally do any kind of like breaking down or anything, but just want to highlight and show off good skill when I see it, because this made all the difference in how this race played out. We would not have gotten this good finish if Cameron right here, and I think that is the 32 of Tyler Breeding. Normally, what you'll see here is you'll see one of these guys say, "Oh no, you're not going to take me 3 wide," and just come on down and just run right into the side of the 13 and wreck 3 or 4, maybe even more cars right there. You'll see it. Somebody just close that gap up. But man, these guys, smart racers, clean racers, know that the 13's got to run, gave him the berth that he needed to go 3 wide, and raced it out to the end. That's why we got a good finish. Just want to highlight that. So a lot of times guys will just close that gap up and then say, oh, well, you shouldn't have gone 3 wide. 3 wide's part of super speedway racing, and that is a master class on how to do that right there. So congratulations to all of the field tonight. Just a fantastic race. Green to the end. A lot of guys disappointing race. But just the way that it goes sometimes. But got some stuff to give out. We got to give out the, of course, we are Flexible Freight Solutions post race show. Sorry, Davey. But we do have to give out some awards. Of course, we gave the Hard Charger Award already to Garrett Kinder. The Hard Luck Award, I don't really know too many folks that had just bad luck, but I'm going to give it to Michael Nash because he was running up front, leading that top line, really making um, a lot of good pushes out to the front. I think he would have been a definite player at the end and lost connection. So definitely going to be the No Neck Fast Repair Hard Luck Award winner. Not a award that he wants to win, but hey, at least he comes away with something. As far as the best paint, I thought, there was a lot of really good paint schemes out there. I really did enjoy Daniel Pope's scheme, though. I don't know if I've given it to him yet, but he's run the same one about every week. But I do like the way it looks. I love schemes like his, clean, really, really nice scheme. So Daniel Pope is going to win the best paint of the night, thanks to Jeff Bott Jr. So, but that's all she wrote. We'll get to the results, see where everybody finished. And we'll go ahead and get Flexible Freight Solution off the screen, but definitely appreciate them. We know that is qualifying results. We'll get the right ones up here in a moment. Oh my Lord, I'm having a stroke. Dylan Bates finishes 4th. Tyler Breeding finishes 5th. 6th, Brandon Wallace. 7th, Cameron Hamilton. Brandon Pollock. Kieran Church, Josh Oswald, Charles Stevens, Matt Telder, Chris Reese, Matt Clemens, Michael Morrison, Chuck Feltz, Steve McDonald, Tyler Rice. A lot of guys we didn't get to talk about tonight. Apologize, just the way the race worked out. Michael Kostick, Jonathan Cofield, we saw him pushing Kinder there at the end. First car a lap down. Disappointing night after winning 2 races in a row, but definitely has a pretty good points lead. I don't think he'll be hurting too bad. He should still retain that points lead even with a 20th place finish. Mickey Isaac, 21st. Todd Schott, 22nd. 23rd, David Jones. 24th, Andy Kurtz. 25th, Ryan Derrick. 26th, Eric Nash. And Eric Tracy, internet issues, not able to get into the race, but 27th. Well, congratulations again to Jim Caudill Jr. Fantastic race. I just want to throw it out there. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what the Rebels rule is for double yellow line. I heard people sort of reference that to give an idea. What's the expectation? I don't know what the admin will rule on that. I do know iRacing's rule though, and iRacing's rule is there is not a rule. That is a NASCAR only rule. iRacing doesn't enforce that. And I'm pretty sure Rebels is the same way. As long as you don't cause an accident, that's fair game. Especially on the last lap, I think that's fair game. However, I don't speak for the league, and whatever the admins decide to do, that's on them. I have to check the rule book. That's my fault for not knowing 100%. But as far as iRacing in an official race, the yellow line is not out of bounds. It's just if you cause a wreck by going down there, then it's obviously a problem. But Jim Caudill with a fantastic move, taking the only space he had. And regardless, we're racing for fake trophies. We're just out here having a good time. I don't think anybody up there is looking at that finish going, oh, I wish, he can't do that or whatever. I don't think anybody's doing that. I think everybody wants a 4-wide finish. I'll take one of those any day. If I finish fourth in a 4-wide finish, I'm good with that. So just a fantastic move. So I don't think he did anything wrong. But like I said, I don't speak for the league. If there is one, they'll talk about it, I'm sure, but I don't think it is. But anyway, either way, congratulations again to all the drivers putting on a green flag show here. Just fantastic. Love this Arca series, man. Just so happy to be broadcasting it. Puts on some of the best racing I've ever seen. So congratulations to the whole field. But want to thank all of our sponsors. Jeff by Junior Art, Dark Horse Motorsports, Chuck Peg Leg, No Neck Fast Repair, Flexible Freight Solutions, and of course, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Records Rewind. Kinder Farm and Ranch, we didn't get to really say them enough because we didn't have any wrecks. So we had a few, but none that were big enough to go back and check a replay on. So, but definitely want to thank them as well. And all the admins, Brandon Wallace, for putting a lot of work in the series. Does a great job. And, 27 drivers at Daytona, no caution flags. While it's a lot of drivers, I think Brandon Wallace has a pretty big influence on that. So definitely want to appreciate him. But anyway, we'll get out of here, and we will see y'all. Let's see. I don't know where we're at next week, but gonna be fun either way. I think we're doing Daytona. Well, I should pull a dang schedule. That way I'll know for Sunday night in the truck series. I don't know if we're pushing everything back. It looks like we're going to be at Homestead. I cannot wait for that. So come on by Sunday night. We'll be racing trucks at Homestead for the Rebels Hardline Truck Series. You definitely want to be there for that. Anyway, see y'all later. Thanks for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.